All right, so let's talk about the PDP concept DW pedals. We'll talk about another video. We'll talk about DW just in general and why I went from 7000s to Axis's, and DW basically put such a bad taste in my mouth that I bought 2 sets of Axis pedals to get away from DW. But we ended up buying these. These are the PDP, which are like, they're like supposed to be a lesser of the professional DW pedals, which that's not even really DW anymore. These pedals are actually not that bad, and I'll tell you the good and bad about them right off the bat after playing with them for a little bit. I got these used, and they're in fairly decent shape. Same problems that most DW pedals have, but other than that, let's talk about the good. Okay, they're long boards. They're direct drive. They're under $300. Are they worth the money? I say yes. I say they are for the beginner or intermediate players. If you're doing professional stuff, you probably want to go with a better pedal. But for beginner, intermediate, these are perfect. Let's talk about the design flaws that I think is wrong with this pedal. Mainly is the structural support. You have support here, you have support here, you have absolutely no support here. And this is where your foot pushes down from. So this is the point of failure. You're going to have more wear on these bearings in here than you are on the outside bearings because there's no support here. That being said, proof is in the pudding. If you take the two heads and push them together, that's how much play is in that bearing now. So those bearings are worn right here. So if I set the camera down on the actual foot pedal, kind of give it the old squeeze, you can see how much wear is in there. So going to need new bearings. We're going to replace those though, and we're not going with the standard bearings. We're going to put some downhill skateboard super high speed bearings in there because that's the way I roll. When I replace bearings in any of my pedals, I always do that because they're way better than the crappy bearings that these companies use. The other problem is whenever I opened this up, this is the first thing I saw, and I was like, oh my god, not the freaking old school standard DW freaking connecting bar, the one that I've had to replace 4 or 5 times over the period of time that I've owned different 5000s and 7000s. Yes, it is. It's the exact same bar. So they wear out here and here. I'll put my knee here. I'll rest the camera on this so that this doesn't move, and we'll lift here, and I'll show you how much play is in there. I'll use my arm for leverage to kind of make sure that we have a good stable spot and the pedal doesn't move, and that's your play in the bar. So this bar wears out fairly quick. That's just a thing though. My DW 5000s did the same thing. I hate those bars, so I'm going to replace that bar. And other than that, they're good though. I mean, even with that bit of play, you can still get used to it and play live with them, and it sounds good. They feel good. Do they feel like Axis pedals? No. They don't have the same feel. They feel more like chain-driven pedals, but with the direct drive pull that Axis pedals have. So that pull that you get from, it's just a feeling. The direct drive, you get it with any of the direct drive pedals, has this a different feeling. That's why if you are used to chain and you move the direct drive, it's going to take a minute to get the feel right. But I definitely would recommend these pedals. I think they're great for the price range, for intermediate and beginner players, or if you're a pro player and you just want something to goof around with. It's the way to go, man. It's like just something extra. I'm going to use these probably a little bit in the practice room. Probably even play a couple shows with them, just kind of goofing around. Now, if I go on tour, would I use these? No, I definitely wouldn't. I would either use my Axis pedals, or I would buy a different set of like higher grade pedals, long boards. But definitely worth the money. Under $300. I mean, it's a good way to get into long boards and direct drive. All right, so hopefully that helps somebody. You guys take it easy. Peace out. And if you want to watch some interesting video about DW and my thoughts on DW, I'll make another video about it. And we'll talk about this pedal, which is not really a DW anymore. Peace out.